Hello, welcome to this week's video. I am Jana of the Journeys with Jana channel, and this is part 2 of the dopamine boosting power of Yoga Nidra. In the last video, I laid out some symptoms of high and low dopamine, so if you missed that video, definitely be sure to go back and check it out. With the things that I shared, it helps you to be able to decipher and judge where you are right now with your dopamine levels. So in this video, I wanted to share some other ways that you can get that deepest dopamine boosting result alongside your Yoga Nidra practice. Also, in that last video, I shared that dopamine is a neurohormone and a neurotransmitter that is the motivator to the feel-good chemicals in the brain, which leads to you seeking out pleasure, movement, and motivation. So as I move through this video, I'd like to really encourage you to be willing to move through the lifestyle changes and welcome the lifestyle changes that do come along with a regular Yoga Nidra practice and a regular meditation practice. Because when you move through any type of healing journey, there are different levels of accepting where you are, what you need, and also accepting those changes that happen. Us as a society, we really view change as hard and scary. We sense it in the body, the nervous system senses the change, and it signals to the brain, danger, danger. And, this is a result, and this is a nervous system that is telling you, and attempting to keep you safe, right? So that you don't make too much of a radical change, or you don't go too hard or too strong. And this is the body and the mind's attempt to keep you safe. So it's not doing anything wrong, but being aware of that sense in the body for many, many, many of us that change is scary. When you open up a little bit more to that change, when you let go of trying to control the outcome or trying to control the scenario, it becomes less scary in real life. And you ultimately sometimes recognize that the fear was a fabricated story in the mind, or a nervous system response, or even a reaction to an experience, all coming from somewhere. And yet having that need of looking at that fear when it arises and saying, okay, is this something that is still benefiting me, to hold on to the fear of change, or to hold on to that resistance and that need to control? So just kind of being a little bit self-observant and asking yourself these questions as it arises, and as I make the statements of what benefits your life and how this Yoga Nidra practice can change in boosting those dopamine levels. So let's first look at the lifestyle changes that derive from the Yoga Nidra practice. First, you have exercise. A regular physical activity can really increase the dopamine, we do know that, and improve and boost your mood. So even short bursts of activities can be beneficial. So even going for a short walk or a 15-minute yoga practice, that, while it might feel like, oh, that's not enough time, that alone is a huge benefit to boosting the dopamine in your brain. And when we go back to the knowledge that dopamine is the motivator to movement, then the more you practice Yoga Nidra, the more motivated you feel to move the body. And you might do different things. For myself personally, I've been very motivated to not only practice my yoga every day, but now I'm kind of going, oh, maybe I want to prepare for one of these long walks, one of these hikes that I see around the world on the El Camino or something like that. And so it just kind of giving me these thought processes of even just inquiring within myself, that looks cool. Can my body do that? How can I boost my body and boost my dopamine and boost my body enough to get into one of those types of exercises? So I'm just giving an example because whether you exercise regularly or not, the Yoga Nidra and that dopamine boost will cause you to want to move the body. So where will the body go? Where will it want to move? Where will you end up moving to and going through as the body desires to move forward rather than stay in the same place? And it would ultimately be one of those responses from the body to where you're not having to force the movement, but rather the brain is naturally cultivating the desire to move your body. So you might be surprised to what movement your body leads you to after practicing Yoga Nidra. Secondly, we're going to look at the sleep. Sleep, just that word, sometimes can be a little bit triggering for some people. There are many of us that don't get an adequate sleep, and it's crucial for the overall brain functioning and supporting of the healthy dopamine levels. It's crucial to have an adequate night's sleep. So if you're a person with chronic sleep issues, why not try Yoga Nidra? See how it could affect you. See how it could interrupt those interrupted sleep patterns and allowing you to sleep more soundly, more regularly, maybe even longer hours. And I'm also going to leave out anything such as sleep apnea or other types of severe sleep issues. Yoga Nidra can improve the average sleep pattern. So if you are one that does suffer from one of these severe sleep disturbances, how could Yoga Nidra be a tool that could help you? Is it one that might help? Is it worth asking a doctor or a sleep professional and maybe helping you through that to help alleviate some of those symptoms? Because this is one of the things that we sort of look back at, that all of our physical symptoms are derived from somewhere, either something in the mind or a trauma in the body. So could Yoga Nidra help in that capacity and help you improve those severe sleep disturbance issues that you might be struggling with? Now, I'm just saying that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a sleep professional by any means. So I don't know anything about sleep disturbances other than what I have personally experienced, which would be various bouts of insomnia. It used to take me hours and hours to fall asleep at night, and then I would be up every half hour to an hour. And so I never got into that REM sleep. Since I've been practicing Yoga Nidra steadily over the last few years, my sleep has improved more and more and more and more, where it takes me less time to fall asleep. Now I'm falling asleep in less than half an hour, which for me was unheard of. I don't wake up as often. I'll sleep for longer periods of the night, which gives me that time for longer dream state and longer REM state. So I just know my personal experience in that way, and that moving through that type of sleep pattern is often a hormone imbalance sometimes, especially in women. So yeah, how could Yoga Nidra help you improve in that direction? Third, we want to look at being outside. Sunlight exposure and grounding are very powerful dopamine boosters. Anytime that you spend outside in nature, whether it's a sunny day or even a cloudy day, just being outside helps to improve the mood, especially during the winter months. Here in Texas, we have short winter months and we have a lot of sunny winter days. So we don't have those long periods of winter that northern states and northern territories have. But I do know that when we have had weeks of no sun, that does happen, the mood drops dramatically. So just by going outside, being in nature, going for a walk or a hike can be so therapeutic to the mind and body. And especially if you go barefoot. You know, if it's not too unbearable for you to be barefoot, you can connect deeper to the earth. You can calm the mind and body even more quickly and alleviating some of those deep stress symptoms within the mind and body. Not many people know this, that when you go into nature And if you hug a tree and just wrap your arms around the tree, that reduces, that immediately regulates your nervous system, takes you out of that fight and flight. It brings a sense of state of calm and peace into the body. So next time you're in nature and feeling a need for dopamine boost, I want to encourage you. Take your shoes off, hug a tree, lay in the grass, look at the sun without or don't look at the sun directly, but take off your sunglasses, be outside without your sunglasses. Just sort of be in nature and allow your body to soak up what nature has to offer you by way of boosting the dopamine. Go outside on a beautiful day and practice your yoga nidra outside. How beautiful would that be? Just pop in your headphones, tune into one of my yoga nidras that I've got on this channel, and lie down, sense the nature in the body, and move through that yoga nidra. Man, how wonderful would that be? If you do that, definitely give a comment below and let me know. Let us all know, how did that respond for you? How did your body and mind react? I would love to hear how that helps you. And another way of looking at this, how to boost dopamine, is when you practice yoga nidra is a style of meditation. And so practicing meditation and mindfulness of various ways boosts the dopamine. So practices such as a meditation practice, yoga, or breath work can really help to regulate the nervous system and increase those dopamine reserves in the brain. Yoga and breath work would be considered your mindfulness practice. During these practices, you're taught to be internal through those experiences, just like when practicing yoga nidra. So you're taught to follow the breath, listen to the breath, feel the breath, notice the lungs as you breathe, notice the heart as you breathe. When you're practicing yoga, you're noticing the joints, you're engaging the muscles, you're disengaging the muscles, you're diving deep into the fascia. And so this releases a lot of things stored in the body while also teaching you mindfulness in a meditative practice. And there are many, I once had a yoga instructor many years ago, and she said, we do yoga a day to keep the crazy away. And we kind of laughed about that, because as a yogi, the more you practice, the better you feel. And it becomes almost like a really deep pattern. It can become one of those things that you recognize in your mind and body, that you say, I need this. I need this for my support of my mind, support of my body, support of my emotions, and whatever else you derive from your yoga practice. But you definitely notice that the more you do yoga, the better you feel, and the more you want to do it, and the more you want to dive into it. And you might take all kinds of courses and read books, just because you're going, okay, this movement is making me feel so good. It's because it's boosting the dopamine in the brain. You're working through mindfulness practices, you're working through meditation, and you're moving the body. So yoga is a very, very powerful practice. I can never boost it enough, I think. And another simple practice to increase the mindfulness, and therefore the dopamine as well, is through your daily practice of brushing your teeth. You do this twice a day, most of us. So instead of brushing your teeth and walking around the house, packing your bag, getting kids organized, making the bed, putting on your pants, whatever you do while brushing your teeth, eliminate all that. Just brush your teeth. Stand at the mirror if that's comfortable for you. If it's not, stand at the window and look out the window. Just brush your teeth. Feel the bristles across the teeth. Feel them across the gum. Feel the bristles enter between the teeth, behind the teeth, across the tongue. Maybe you brush the roof of your mouth or your cheeks. Just notice and be present with your brushing. Notice where you missed. Go back, do it again. That one practice every morning and every night, taking a minute or two to practice mindfulness while you're brushing your teeth, this one act alone makes dramatic changes. This was my first act of mindfulness. When I was teaching myself mindfulness following my divorce, my first practice was to just look in the mirror and brush my teeth. And at first, for me, looking in the mirror wasn't my jam. So I just sat on the bathtub. I just sat on the edge of the tub and I closed my eyes and I just brushed my teeth and I felt the bristles, everything I just described. And by doing that, after a month, I don't even think it was that long. It might have even been a few weeks, but after a short duration of time doing this practice, I was then looking in the mirror and then maybe even saying affirmations in my head while I was brushing my teeth and just being in that present moment with myself. And over time, that dramatically boosted my mood. I looked forward to waking up to brush my teeth to practice my mindfulness. I looked forward to it every day. I looked forward to getting ready for bed and practicing my mindfulness. It then moved into how I washed my face or a bath or making the bed in the morning, label in all of the, make a big list. But this one little practice alone is a dramatic change. So I want to encourage that, just that small practice. Start your mindfulness, start your meditation in your morning with the teeth. Start brushing the teeth, cleaning out the toxins from the mouth, clearing out the toxins from the body, and notice how that boosts your mood. So other ways to develop dopamine in the brain would be creative activities and changing the foods that you eat. So both of these will look dramatically different, person to person, but nonetheless, we each need to be practicing more creativity and eating more mindfully. Both of those really benefit us as a human collective. We don't do it often enough, especially here in the United States. We don't have a lot of mindful eating. We are very fast food oriented, and that's not leading to healthy mind, body, and spirit. So if you find yourself in these modalities, or that's something that you want to look into, I'm not going to go too deep into that. I think that's something that's going to resonate for everyone differently. If you want to change your foods, I would look into a traditional Chinese medicine, an Ayurvedic practitioner, or maybe a nutritionist. And if you want to add creativity to your life, go take a class if you haven't taken a class before, or if you are an artist and you haven't practiced your art in a while, bring something through again. So I really want to encourage both of those for you as well. As I mentioned in part 1 about myself diving into Yoga Nidra during a phase of deep burnout, over time I regained all these areas that I've mentioned thus far. In those heavy moments of not being able to get up off the floor, the Yoga Nidra assisted me in helping myself and in asking for more help more easily than I had in the past. I began developing a deep sense of safety within my body. So I felt more comfortable to ask for help. The outside world seemed less scary to approach in such a delicate state. But it takes time. It takes time to develop. It takes time to shift the pattern, to shift the lifestyle. So for me, and everyone's different, but each time that I've needed this and come through my Yoga Nidra practice, for this last time, it's been a little less than a year. Within about 6 months, I was doing my exercising. I was eating the way that I need to be eating according to my Ayurvedic practitioner. I felt that motivator really kicked in to really give me that motivation to grab the bull by the horns, so to speak, as we say here in Texas. When you're really grabbing the bull by the horns, you're really taking charge of your life and not just being a passive member in your life. Like I said, it takes time to develop. So I really want to encourage you to be patient, be gentle with yourself when introducing a new practice. Give yourself and the practice the time that it needs and deserves to take root before you decide that it's not for you. How long do you normally try something before you decide it's not for you? Do you try it once or twice? Because that oftentimes isn't enough. But with Yoga Nidra, it is a practice. It is something like yoga where you want to, or even going to the gym where you want to do this on lather, rinse, repeat, where you want to set a schedule every day and you want to really commit to it, maybe even putting it on your calendar or set an alarm or do a reminder if this is a tool that you want to bring into your life. Because it is one that I know over time will benefit you. I haven't met anyone thus far who it hasn't benefited. And again, everyone is different. Everyone's time frame is different. Everyone's response is different. But if you give this, I would say 3 to 4 weeks of a daily practice, or 3 to 4 times a week for the next month, see how your body responds, see how your mind responds, see how your life shifts, take note of what happens. It's really interesting when you grab a tool like this that is a foundational tool, and when you have a foundational tool, it shifts the foundation of your home. Anytime you need to do in your physical home, if you have to do foundation work, the house changes, it resettles. So when you're doing foundation work on yourself, you will change, you will recalibrate, you will resettle. So after listening to this, how do you feel like Yoga Nidra could benefit you? I'd love to hear in the comments if you've been trying the practice and it's already been showing up. How is it showing up? If you haven't tried the practice yet, but you're curious, maybe state your intention down below. What would you like to derive from a Yoga Nidra practice? Putting it out there for all of us to help encourage you through it. We'll definitely love to be there with you. And I'd love to know more of your practice and how it's all going for you. So please, if you resonated with this video or any others, I'd love for you to check out a meditation style as well. And you're welcome to check out my website, www.journeyswithjana.com, for any in-person events or online offers that I have available at the time that you listen to this video and tap into the website. So I hope to see you and hear from you soon. Please like and subscribe to the video and share with a friend that you feel might benefit from a Yoga Nidra practice. Until the next time, thanks, and I'll see you again in the next video.